Hi, this is Slim. Welcome to the pilot episode of Ask a Black Guy. I'm here with my co-host Smooth. Smooth, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Slim? How are you?
Nothing. Listen, I'm real excited about this. We've been talking about doing this for a long time.
You're absolutely right.
And I do think it's going to be a service for a lot of people.
I agree.
Also be wildly entertaining.
I agree. I'm very excited about this also. And for those of you who are just tuning in, Ask a Black Guy is a new podcast with myself, who I'm Smooth and I'm black. And there's Slim and he's white.
I mean, the whitest motherfucker you've ever met in your life.
I'm not the blackest motherfucker, but I'm black. I mean, the cops think I'm black, so that's all that really matters.
You almost got pulled over here coming to my house, actually.
This is true. I almost got pulled over today. I got pulled over last week. So,
is that the one where the cops pulled the gun from you?
Yeah, they took my gun, even though I was a licensed citizen. But anyway, so Ask a Black Guy. You want to know what this is? Ask a Black Guy is a podcast with two friends. We've been friends for what? 10 years now?
Fuck no. I've known you since 2011, bro.
Wow, 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 9 years.
2011.
So
and, this is something, it started organically. As we became much better friends, we became a lot more comfortable talking about this kind of shit. And all of a sudden, Ask a Black Guy came out of left field, and I had a black dude on speed dial ready to ask any burning questions. And I became fascinated with it. And if I was hanging out with my other white friends, and they had questions, I'd be like, hold up.
I've gotten I
got a dude on dial right now.
I've gotten a lot of white people phone calls, and I should have wrote it off on my taxes. Now that I think about it, it's just. So the basis of the show is I'm not a professional. What is it? Orator? What do you call it?
You're not a professional podcaster.
I'm not a professional.
We can't tell that.
Speaker. But what the show is we look at today's current issues and we address them from different cultural backgrounds, and to kind of put a comedic twist on them, just to have a conversation.
It's really just normal banter between me and Gary.
Yeah,
and Smooth. I'll have to cut that out.
And Slim. So, but we're not professionals. I mean,
it's just us bullshit, and we have found that when we do this in front of other people, they are wildly fascinated by it, and
mainly white people.
Yeah, it is primarily white people are fascinated by it. But to be fair, black people think it's hilarious.
Black people do think it's hilarious
because they have something to offer, and
they do.
It really is. It started with my fascination of this. I grew up on a farm
in Idaho.
In fucking Idaho. But I lived in Idaho for 18 months.
That's enough.
Just do things I'm from Idaho.
He's an Idahoan. He's an Idahoan.
I might as well be. Let's just say I'm south of the Mason-Dixon line.
What do they call you?
I grew up on a farm.
What do they call you? Idahoan? Are you Idahoan? Is that a thing?
No.
Like, I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm a Philadelphian. New Jersey's or New Jerseyan? What are you? What is Idaho?
I don't know.
Does anybody know what Idaho is? If you guys know what Idaho is, email us. Because that's Idahoan. He's an Idahoan until we figure it out.
Anyhow. So because I grew up in what I would consider the liliest white possible way you could.
I would agree.
I wasn't completely void of knowing black people.
Yes, he was.
I went to school, but there was like one black kid at my school. You know?
Let me ask you a question. Did you know his name? The answer is no.
Well, here's what the even more fucked up part about that is that the one black kid at my school I ended up fighting. I do know his name. It was Tyrone. His name was Tyrone.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's Tyrone.
Tyrone, if you're out there, you're listening to this podcast, you email us, because I got a question for you about this asshole.
Hold up. This dude flicked my ears on the bus, and I got big ass ears.
He's got big flickable fucking Dumbo ears.
And I didn't deserve getting him flicked, but he did, and he paid the price for it. I will say that. But Tyrone, and he was the one black kid I went to school with, man. And then that was grade school, and in high school there was a handful more, but definitely didn't run. I didn't run in their crew.
A handful more of what?
Black dudes.
Oh, okay. Wasn't really sure what y'all called them back there. Just want to make sure we got that straight.
Well, before I met you, it was always African Americans.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. So,
but they beat that into our heads, man.
That's terrible.
But see, that's the education that white people are getting in lily white communities.
So that's one of our topics, actually. Is it okay to call people black people or African American? And I told this guy, Slim, I said, listen, years ago, I said, if you call a black person an African American, we know two things. Number one, you don't have any black friends, because if you had black friends, we would tell you, don't call me African American, call me black. And number two, you're uncomfortable around black people because you're afraid of offending them or whatever it is. It just goes to show.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's being uncomfortable around black people.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I was. And
that's like if you come to Philadelphia, you're like, oh, can I get a Philadelphia cheesesteak sandwich? Oh, we know you're not from around here, bro. You're going to get your ass kicked. Right. So, but think about it. Like, you're white. You're from America. I'm black. I'm from America. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Africa. If an African comes over to America and gets citizenship, he's an African American. If a Chinese person comes over to America and gets citizenship, he's a Chinese American. I'm just American. I'm black. Just call me black. You're white. I don't call you English American or Scottish American. What are you, German?
German and Irish.
Yeah, I don't call you German American or Irish American. Shit, I don't even fucking call you Caucasian. I just call you white. He's fucking white. So black people are just black. They don't have to be African American.
That's true.
It just is what it is.
Right.
So
and this is how it all started, right? It's just bullshit back and forth. We really just bust each other's balls constantly. Mm-hmm. He busts my balls for being white. I can't bust his balls for being black.
Wait. I didn't bust your balls for being white. I don't bust your balls for being white. I bust your balls for only having experience in the white culture.
That's true.
That's what I bust your balls for. I'm not racist. I don't have a problem with white people. I like white people. Some of my good friends are white people. I've dated white women.
A lot of white women.
Allegedly, I've had my fair share of dating people in general, races.
Grew up,
so
like I said
don't let him
grew up south of Dixon on a horse farm.
Idaho.
It was not Idaho. It was on the East Coast. It was in Maryland, and I had the most lily white upbringing you could think of. Like I said earlier, I could probably count on one hand the amount of black kids I went to school with. It's just the way that community was set up. It is a farming community. It wasn't in the middle of nowhere per se. I was within driving distance of Philadelphia and some other populaces. I wasn't in the middle of Idaho growing up, but it definitely was a cracker white upbringing, and I knew some hillbillies, man, believe me. Oh, my dad ran with some hillbillies.
Speaking of cracker, you know what's funny?
What?
So cracker is a racial term to describe white people?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of racial terms. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys got way more racial terms to describe other people.
I don't think you want to go toe-to-toe with me on that.
No, I don't. But what I'm saying is, it's funny you say cracker because white people were crackers and black people were crackers too. White people were saltines. Black people were graham crackers.
Is that real?
I mean, I heard it before.
I think that's just some bullshit you heard.
No, it was a comedian said it, and I was like, it makes sense.
Yeah, but you're talking about what a comedian said.
It was legit.
You're trying to pass it as fact. It's not fact.
I'm just saying, it was funny.
It is funny.
And it was like, oh, you're a cracker, I'm a cracker, we're crackers. I'm a graham cracker, you're saltines. No?
No.
Puerto Ricans?
That's some corny shit.
Ritz crackers? No?
What you got to know about Smooth is he gets corny as fuck sometimes. Yeah. That's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
No, but for real, I just did not have a lot of exposure to the black culture, except for what I saw on MTV.
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
You know what I mean? We could talk hours on MTV alone, and what the kids I hung out with thought of the black community just based on that solely.
And that's another reason for this podcast, because most white people don't have a lot of interaction with black people.
That's our education.
And all they know about black people is what they see on TV, on the news, or in the movies. Bro, I was at work one time, and I had this little white kid come up to me and was like, "What up, dog? What up, dog?" and try to give me a fist pound.
Was he for real though?
Yeah, he was dead serious. I think he was. I don't know. He was young to the point where I couldn't tell if he was being a little asshole or if he really thought. No, it was a child. A child. He's a child. Like, he couldn't have ain't no more than like, I don't know, 8, 9, and I'm looking at this little shit like
He's trying to relate to you.
well, you know, I'm looking like, is this little motherfucker? Is he being a smart ass or is he like being legit? Like, I don't know where he's from. Like, I looked at his class; it was all white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all his peers were all white. His teacher was white.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, where did he get this from? He must have saw it on TV,
Yep.
or must have saw it on the news and thought, "Oh, here's a black guy. Here's the time to use it. Oh, I can't wait."
What's up, dog?
Yeah, and I looked at him, and I was like, you know, he was a kid too. So my I don't know what you call it. My inner senses kicked in. It was like, oh, hey, what's up, kid? Like,
Because he didn't want to crush his soul.
yeah, but my inner blackness was like, if you don't get your little motherfucking ass where I kick you in the goddamn chest. That's what I thought. But I didn't say it. And that's another thing. This podcast are the thoughts that we have, that everybody have, but nobody wants to talk about.
Nobody's got the balls to talk.
Nobody's got the balls to say it. So
And I found that Gary, when I met Gary, so
fucking smooth.
Smooth. When I met Smooth, that's how that happened. It wasn't immediate, you know.
No.
It takes building a relationship. I worked with him for you know, a year probably before we ever got to that level of comfort. Yeah. But we're cut from the same cloth in the sense that I know he's not offended by what I say. I'm never going to be offended by what he says. Because all we're doing is busting balls. But there's hilarious truth in it.
No,
it's all about how we were brought up. And, and
perspective.
That really is where the divide, in my opinion, starts. It starts when you're a kid because you're just not. If you're growing up in a lily white suburban community, you just don't know.
You don't,
and you're not exposed to black culture.
No.
And what you don't know, you're afraid of, right?
I was out afraid.
No. We do. I'm saying from the white people's perspective, it's something that you just don't understand. Right. So you may not be afraid of it, but you're also not jumping in with both feet and going out and hanging out with every black dude you meet in the street. There's always going to be that hesitation.
And we're not jumping out, hanging out with every white guy that we meet in the woods. We know that.
Exactly.
We learned that.
You've been through that, and it just doesn't work out.
No, I seen it on TV once, and it didn't end up well for us.
And I'm telling you, man, I grew up in an area like there was some legit racist people that I know. I mean, like just blind racism. Didn't even know why they were racist. Mm. And it drove me crazy because it's just there's no basis for it. There's no fact in it. Mm-hmm. And if it ever came time to go toe to toe with a black dude, these dudes would crumble in a fucking heartbeat, and I know that. So
what makes it worse? What makes it worse if they're good at fighting and they're racist and they beat a black guy up? It just solidifies their place. like I'm a fucking racist and I beat black people up. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, but if you find it, I mean, not all black people are great fighters. I mean, that's just a generality that you could put on. They're not big like my man Smooth here, where they're just going to jolly stomp some dude.
Yeah, I'm a little large. 330. I'm 6 feet, 330. I'm proud of it.
He's a big man.
Take it.
But I became fascinated with this. And when I started talking to Smooth about it, it was something that I just couldn't let go. And every time I had a thought, the first thing I wanted to do was call Smooth up and be like, yo, what is the deal with this?
He's not lying. I can't tell you how many times I've got a phone call from him or other people that were close in our circle with a ask a black guy question. Like it was a constant thing. Like it just became natural.
It was almost daily.
Like it didn't even the phone ring. Yo, Smooth. Hey, what's up? Ask a black guy. Shoot. That's how the whole conversation would go. Then I get the topic. Then I think about it, and I give my honest to God perspective, my opinion on what it is. Now, my opinion, you know, it's my opinion from my perspective. It is not
right. You don't speak for all black people.
Yeah, the end all, be all of all black people in the world. So don't go up to black people in the supermarkets and be like, oh, Smooth said this, because you might get your ass beat. That's a legal disclaimer, too. So if you get your ass put behind that, that's your fault. You got to use proper judgment.
What's your background?
So I'm from Philly. I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I grew up in North Philadelphia. Actually, so it's a split. So I grew up in North Philly, right off of like 15th and York. If you know anything about North Philly, right near Temple campus, where all the white kids keep getting robbed because they built the college in the hood, whatever. It's ghetto. I mean, like robberies and murders, and like these kids are walking in the street drunk at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But whatever, it's getting better. Gentrification is kicking in. So I grew up in North Philly. So I was about like 10 years old. Then I left North Philly and I moved up to Mount Airy with my family, my mother, my father. Yes, I'm black and I have a father. Yes.
Did you know Will Smith?
Did I know Will Smith? No, Will. Again, ask a black guy. This is why this show is so important. I just said I grew up in North Philadelphia. He asked me if I knew.
Born in West Philly. I knew that. Born and raised.
So why would I know anything about anybody in West Philly?
A couple blocks. I mean,
it's way more than a couple blocks. It's like miles before I get to West Philly.
I'm just saying.
So the answer is no. No, I did not. I do not know Will Smith. I never met Will Smith. But Will, if you're listening, I would like. What up, man? I'd like to meet you. But I was like 10 and we moved to Mount Airy. If you know anything about Mount Airy, right off of 309, right near outside of Old Grove. And that's pretty much it. And then turned 18 and left and went upstate.
How did we meet?
Went to college. We met at work, actually. And to be honest, I met Slim, like 3 other guys, and they were all in like a semicircle, and I introduced myself. I'm like, hey, I gave him my real first name, which he already fucking told you 3 times already. And he gives me a name, and it sounds like his last name. And I'm like, oh, I just introduced myself, and this fucking dickhole just gives me his last name? Okay, bro, you want to be fucking like super professional about it? Fine, fuck it. And I just gave him like the stink shoulder. So it was like that for about maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, several weeks.
Yeah, and then I realized in one conversation that the name he gave me was actually his first name. But it sounded like his last name. How the fuck was I supposed to know?
I got 2 last names.
Yeah, he's got 2 last names as first names.
You know how some of you like you meet the weirdo that has 2 first names? I got 2 last names.
Yeah, he's got 2 last names. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, and his middle name is a fucking Jesus Christ. What do you call that shit? What do you call the middle name?
It's street.
I mean, I don't want you to tell him what the middle name, but it's fucking it's a clobber fuck. I don't know.
It's wild.
Are your parents gonna listen to this?
Probably, but it's a wild middle name.
Well, I'm not gonna talk shit, but I don't know what you guys were. What? Were they hippies? Were your parents hippies?
Drunks. Yeah.
Well, it shows, but everybody has their reasoning for things. So yeah, that's it.
So it was the first time, like I said, where I grew up. Now I'm working in Philadelphia all of a sudden, and it's definitely a culture shock.
He's saturated with black people. Is what he's trying to say.
Absolutely a culture shock. But not one that scared me anyway. It's just something I was fascinated with, and I really want to understand more. And just happened to meet my man Smooth here, and we kicked off the relationship. And Ask a Black Guy was born. Ever since then, we've been talking about doing something like this forever. And we finally pulled the trigger on it. So,
and now we're in the age of podcasts. So why not?
This is a perfect medium to go over this type of topic.
If not us, then who?
Right. So. And I'm surprised that nobody else has done it, to be quite honest.
Well, nobody else is us. So
I guess maybe nobody else has got the balls to talk like this. I don't know, but it is what it is, and we're moving forward with it now. So the show is going to rely a lot on listener feedback. I want to hear topics from listeners. I want to know what white people out there are thinking that have always been afraid to ask black dude. I want to know what black people are thinking, and if they've ever been approached by white people with the same types of stuff. Yeah. Maybe they have a similar relationship.
Yeah,
maybe another black guy out there has got a similar relationship with
a
white friend.
So this podcast, the question goes back and forth. It's black people want to know about white people want to know about black people, Asian people, Spanish people. You guys, everybody can call in. It's just Ask a Black Guy was just a cool ass fucking name, and that's what we decided to stick with. Because Ask a White Guy is like, everybody's always asking white guy shit.
Nobody's a fucking what a white guy's gonna say.
I mean, we care, but Ask a Black Guy just sounds so much fucking cooler. Like you see Ask a Black Guy pop up. I promise you this. You guys are listening on what is it? Spotify and Apple Music, and you're scrolling through and shit, and you're punching in your search items, and you see Ask a Black Guy, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is Ask a Black Guy? And you're gonna click on it, and you're gonna see this white guy and this fucking black guy, and we're gonna be talking shit, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's fucking funny. Yeah. And you're gonna like it, and you're gonna fucking laugh, and you're gonna learn. And more importantly, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn about other cultures outside yourself. And you're going to learn how to interact with other people that are different from you. And you're going to learn how to take uncomfortable situations and fucking be able to talk about it and turn tragedy into fucking comedy and somebody's got a fuck counter right now because I probably said fuck 200 times. So we should start a fuck counter.
Maybe.
We should start a fuck counter. We'll start.
I do cuss too much.
I curse a lot, but we'll start a fuck counter, and every year we'll see over or under fuck score. That's what we should say.
Maybe
over under fuck score.
Well, we were just having a conversation the other day about stereotypes in general. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So we were. It actually started with the China virus. This is what's.
The China virus.
That's what sparked the conversation.
Yeah.
And that turned into a general conversation about stereotypes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what constitutes a stereotype. And the question was put. This wasn't an Ask a Black Guy question either. This was just a general
conversation. We
were watching the press conference about coronavirus, and President Trump at the time he says China virus, like clear as day, with a point and an emphasis on it. We were saying, is that racist? That was the question. Is the use of the term China virus racist? And boom. It was an hour-long conversation.
Yeah, it was wild. And then we started talking about stereotypes.
Right, and so that came into general. So, I don't know if I'm going to weigh in on the China virus right now.
But I also saw the point. It was like, it came from China. It's Chinese.
That's where it was, right. Maybe the China virus
was probably
is racist, but what other way could you put it? Like, the Spanish flu... was because of the origin of the Spanish flu, right? That was or they saw the most casualties out of it. I've read two different things. So it was dubbed the Spanish flu. Is that racist? I don't know. Do we look back on that and say that's racist? Or are we going to look back 100 years from now and say the China flu was a racist term?
I don't think people are going to give a fuck.
I don't think they get.
Nobody really calls it China flu. They call it.
Are they just
COVID-19 or coronavirus?
Are they just? He's the only one that says it.
Yeah,
well, but is it? I'm just saying, is it racist?
He's not a blue checkmark guy on Instagram, so he's not a trendsetter or influencer. Nobody's gonna call it the China virus outside of him.
Right.
So
that is true. You don't hear it outside of the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. But but he was trying to set it outside, and the question still remains: is that a racist term or not? I don't know. I see both sides of that, but. That led into the greater and overarching question about stereotypes and the history of stereotypes,
right?
And what your view on that was, which I found actually very very fascinating.
Yeah. So my view on stereotypes is this, right? I drive a 2004 Grand Marquis, which by the way. When he got rid of his own car. Well, no, I didn't get rid of it. I had a nice. Fuck this. This is gonna sound. Talk about stereotypes. So I had a nice black Cadillac Escalade, which I love, and white people like Cadillacs too. So I don't know why. Well, I'm gonna tell you why they just associated with black people. But a fucking tree fell on my car and crushed my car, and I said, "Fuck it." I didn't want another car note, but I needed a car, so I went and bought a fucking car. Whatever. So here we are. 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis, which I got a fucking deal on because I bought it for $1,000 and it had 130 miles on it. Fucking sweet. I bought it. I'll take it.
Okay. So finish up the story.
This is where I go where stereotypes come from, right?
Yeah, but hold on. Before we get to that.
What?
I guessed the car that you got.
You did guess it. You did guess it.
I guessed it.
Because you relied on stereotypes.
I did. I relied on stereotypes. But... To be fair, I said a Crown Vic, a Ford Crown Vic,
right?
And you have a Mercury Grand Marquis. It's the same vehicle.
Exact same vehicle. Just different companies.
I guessed it. There's 1,000 different cars I could have guessed, and I guessed the very one that you ended up with. Yeah. Now, stereotypes are somewhat based in truth and fact at some point in history. And this is where, this is where you come in with your thought on that.
So here's my thought on stereotypes, and this isn't science, and nothing that I say here is fucking science, unless I say it's fucking science.
We're just because we're just two assholes talking to each other.
This is my perspective.
Just observations.
So my thought on stereotypes. This is where it comes from. Like I said, I drive a 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis, but I never noticed Mercury Grand Marquis on the road until I bought one. So now when I'm driving mine, because I own it, because I know it, I can relate Like there's a relation between that car and me. Now every time I see a Mercury Grand Marquis, I notice it on the road.
It's either a 90-year-old white lady
or an old man
or a black dude.
or a young black dude. And like I said, the only reason it stands out because I now have a relationship with that vehicle. I don't notice the Jeep Cherokees that I drive by, or how many fucking Dodge Rams, or how many Mustangs, or how many fucking Ferrari. I'm lying. I'll notice a fucking Ferrari. Yeah, you'll notice a Ferrari. But so stereotypes are the same. It just so happens that like black people and white people, and this is what I was telling Slim the other day, it's different. I'm a black man. You can look at me from a block away and know that's a fucking black guy from a block away. White people, not so much. I can look at a white person and be like, oh, that's a white person, but I don't know if he's a Scottish white person. I don't know if he's a English white person. I don't know if he's an Irish white person. I don't know if he's an Italian white person until he starts to talk and I get to have a conversation with him.
Right. And that's why, this is a great point, because this is why there's not as many white guy stereotypes.
Exactly.
I never thought about this, but it's true.
There's not as many white guys.
There's not as many white guy stereotypes, but there are Italian stereotypes.
Exactly.
There are Irish stereotypes.
Exactly.
You have all that, right? You got the drunks and the Italian, you know. You got all that.
Because once you identify someone, now when you see something else again, you associate that first stereotype with them. Like for instance, like I said with black people, once you see a black person, if you see a black person eating fried chicken, and you see another week later another black person eating fried chicken, and you see another black person eating fried chicken, you go, oh shit, all black people like fried chicken.
Yeah, but so are you saying that the white people that are observing this and have created this fried chicken stereotype, are you saying that we're ignoring the white people?
Yes. So what I'm saying is you're ignoring the white people
because one guy
you can't readily
down the road said.
Yeah, but the thing is because you can readily identify a black person. You can identify a black person from, like I said, a block away. If I look at you from a block away, I know you're white. I can't tell what your identity is. I can't tell that you're Irish from a block away, you know? But once you start talking, I can identify you as drinking. I can identify you as being Irish. I'm like, oh, he's a
fucking drunk.
Yeah, the stereotype is Irish and drunk. And then if I'm out of the bar, and I see another Irish guy, I hear him talk, and he's drinking. Oh, there's another Irish guy. So that's how the stereotypes build, because now you have a relationship with that specific object or item, and then you become attuned to it. Yeah, you become attuned to it. Now you look for it. It stands out to you now.
Same thing. Like when you go car shopping, you always say, "Oh, I'm really interested in buying a red Ferrari," like you said earlier. Right? Mm-hmm. Now you notice, man, there's a lot more red Ferraris in here than I ever realized.
Exactly,
because you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So when you're hyper focused on it, and then that perpetuates the stereotype. Yep. That's essentially. Yeah. Am I describing
you can be hyper focused on it, and you can just subconsciously pick it up too. Like because, like I said, black people, you can readily identify a black person from a block away. You can't readily identify white people. I can have 5 white people in this room. I can't tell you what you are until I talk to you and either hear it in your voice or you tell me what your background is. But black people, you know, you're black.
And you're eating fried chicken.
And you're eating fried fucking chicken.
Yeah, whatever it is. Watermelon.
Or whatever it is. Or whatever it is. Which I love fried chicken and I love fucking watermelon. But because of stereotypes, I will not order that bitch in public. I won't. I refuse to.
Come on.
Because you know what? I'll be at a fucking restaurant and I'll order like I had a fried chicken and there'll be a white guy behind me like, of course. The black guy's ordering fried chicken. Yeah.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah. So I've gotten nasty stares in certain parts of the world that I've been in the United States, especially when I was working in Jersey. Monmouth County, New Jersey, I used to get like the most nastiest racist stares from like old racist white people all the time. Just being in regular like restaurants. And I used to tell my friend like, yo, these motherfuckers are racist as shit. But they would look at you, but they didn't have the balls to open their mouth and say anything. And I wish to God that they would. Like, this is my inner Negro would kick in like, motherfucker, let's go. No, I mean I have more control than that. But
so you're saying you will openly avoid stereotypical activity.
Yes.
In the public eye.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I would. I would not. Do I love fried chicken?
You will let that actually control your decisions.
Sounds fucked up.
Yeah,
yes.
It's fucked up.
Yes. White people love fried chicken too.
It's fucked up. You know how much power? Like, they give white people a lot of power.
Well, you know what I mean? I just rather avoid the whole situation. Like, I don't know if it's more powers. I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit that I know could possibly come from it.
that makes me feel horrible.
Well,
Like if I'm in a restaurant and I think that my man Smooth isn't ordering fried chicken because he's hanging out with me, that's fucked up.
well, you can also just order a piece of fried chicken and just slide it over to me.
That would solve that problem.
No,
You're
I'm
still
gonna call
eating
you a fucking racist for
that would be worse. Because my ass, with my smart ass look, I go like this.
And that's the So when you hear me go, that's like the white people. That's like the white people.
That's the judgy white guy.
Non-verbal way of saying, of course. Like that's the So you hear that? That's just white people saying, of course, Genevieve, of course he did.
Of course,
Of course, fried chicken, huh?
But you're in KFC. Like, what else do you get?
You get fucking fried chicken because KFC is delicious.
Right.
So it's Popeyes.
You will do it. Like, yeah, Popeyes are.
I mean, listen, I'll go into KFC, I'll order. It's KFC. You go into a chicken spot for chicken. You go to Rib Shack, you get ribs. You go to Burger, you get burgers. But I'm not going to go to a restaurant, sit down and like, oh, can I have the fried chicken? Unless it's a soul food restaurant because I know other black people ain't judging me.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see a ton of white people in a soul food restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, you might.
You might see a couple of them, but they're not going to fucking. I bet you if it was a bunch of white people in a soul food restaurant, you won't get the they get their ass whooped. Like, what the fuck is the my man?
No,
Fried chicken?
You just see me eat my chicken.
Yeah.
My chicken and waffles.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's where we're at with it.
So that is true. That's a good point. It's an over kind of the 10,000 foot view of stereotypes, and that was a great conversation.
And these are all real conversations that we had too. Like
these are real.
This shit
These
is real.
are in front of other people. This is real shit that we've talked about with other people. Some people get very uncomfortable. It's actually very interesting seeing how some people react to the conversations that Smooth and I will have. Mm-hmm. You will see some people that will turn their backs, slink away. Depends on obviously the geographical location we're in. If we're in a building versus being outside or something, but like you'll see people that will either disassociate themselves from the conversation completely, or they'll listen to it for a minute, for a while, and then want to become engaged in it because they either had a thought on it or disagree with something that Smooth said, disagree with something I said, and it becomes a very polarizing conversation. And this is where I know that the fascination lies with white people because they're usually the ones that have the most aggressive reaction.
Well, yeah, and white people, and to be fair, white people are the ones who are mainly isolated to other races for a large majority of your life.
You're right. You have, in other words, Smooth has interacted with more white people,
right, in my entire life
than I have with black people.
I've interacted with more white people in my first few years of education, talking about kindergarten and elementary school, than most white people have in their entire life. And that just is because white people are always isolated. You look at the neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, Spanish neighborhoods. Even look at Philly. Philadelphia is a city of neighborhoods, and everything is completely isolated. You might get a couple neighborhoods that are mixed, but in all white schools, how many black teachers do you get? Kind of not really that many. Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
In black schools or Asian schools well, maybe not Asian schools because they keep their community pretty much fucking tight knit.
Their shit's locked up.
Yeah, but like black schools, Spanish schools, Latino schools, and Hispanic schools, you get white teachers in first grade, second grade. Some white kids don't see fucking black teachers or black people till they get like 6, 7, 9. When's the last time your daughter saw a black?
Well, she goes to a school in Delaware.
Right.
They actually mix the school, so they'll bring in people from black neighborhoods. They'll bring in kids from black neighborhoods and bring them into the white neighborhoods. So it's usually they try to maintain a 50-50 relationship in our public schools here. So she actually sees way more and has way more interaction with black children than I ever did when I was a kid.
Right.
I mean, it was the exact opposite where I grew up. I mean,
and there we go. And that's how it goes. If you haven't picked up by now, you should know that this is not a show for children. This is not a show that you can listen to in the car.
35 minutes in.
Yeah.
A show for children.
Yeah, this is not a show for kids where you can just drop off little, you can listen to where you're dropping off little Johnny or Jamal sitting in the back seat. Like, no, this is not what you want to do. This is not a PC or politically correct.
Really? Jamal?
I went with the blackest name I can go with. I mean, I said Johnny. I mean, I guess it was like white.
That's white as fuck.
Billy and Jamal. Yeah. This is a show you can drop off Billy and Jamal and
casually listen.
Yeah, listen to it in the back seat because they're gonna take this shit to school. And you're gonna get a fucking phone call about lunch. Like, Mom, what's a rub and tug? Like, no. So we're not politically correct. We curse a lot. When
we talk about anything, there is no topic that's off limits.
No, we talk about any and everything that comes to our brain. So if you email us anything, email whatever you want. we will talk about it, and we are not afraid to talk about it. And I'm gonna give you my perspective, and Slim will give you his perspective, and that's just what we do. So there's a lot of cursing. That's why I said start the fuck counter, because I say fuck a lot. And I'm not like just some savage in the street. My father's a preacher. Like I go to church.
Yeah.
I go to church. I'm a Christian. Mm-hmm. I'm not perfect.
I go to church, but I cuss a lot.
I curse a lot.
And it's weird. Like I'll come home and I'll turn it right off.
Yeah. Oh, you got to.
But when I'm at work and I'm around my boys, like, it just flies.
Yeah, I curse all day long.
I don't know what that is.
I mean, I don't curse in front of my parents. Fuck, I don't even drink in front of my parents.
Yeah.
I won't drink. I won't have a drink in front of my mom or dad.
Is that true?
Yeah, I won't. Like I'll be with my sisters. My sisters will drink all day long. I have 2 younger sisters. I'm the oldest of 3, but I won't pick up a drink. I will fucking put it down till they walk out the goddamn room. And I'm 36 years old. So fuck it. I look like I'm 26 though. 27. I got a baby face, baby leg too.
Baby arm. Baby's arm.
Oh yeah. Whatever it is. But yeah, that's the show, man. We're not afraid to talk about anything. So you email us whatever you want. And once we figure out what email address we want to land on, we'll put it out there for everybody to get.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Actually, why don't we just pick a topic?
No, go.
Actually, how about one of the very first topics we ever talked about?
What was that?
It was the Ask a Black Guy topic.
Mm-hmm.
Punctuality.
Oh,
man.
Okay.
Now, and you fell into this. You were deep into this stereotype.
Nah. It's just,
I invited my man Smooth over to my house.
Mm-hmm.
It was a barbecue, right? We were at a barbecue. And it was a bunch of us. We had a bunch of guys we worked with. I invited a whole bunch of people out to a party. This guy, he shows up like 2.5, 3 hours after the whole thing starts, right? Mm-hmm. And the whole time, he acted like I was supposed to know that was normal.
Yeah.
And that what he dubbed CP time.
I didn't dub it. It's an actual thing.
This is the first time I ever heard it.
Because he don't have any black friends.
Mind.
He doesn't have any black friends outside of me. So this is his first time being introduced to CP time, which stands for Colored People Time, which means black people run late. We run late. The CP time.
Come on, it was easily 2.5 hours after the start of my party. We were cooking meat, we had shit on the grill.
See,
we were playing games in the yard, dude. We had shit going on, and you came in we were halfway through it by the time you got there.
Yeah, well, oh man, he just spilled the drink. So if you guys don't know, we like to record with a nice libation. We're an adult beverage. Today we're drinking a beverage of men, and we're not going to tell you what it is because we don't have any sponsors. But
unless they want to sponsor us,
yeah. But Slim just knocked his all over the damn table.
Captain Octopus arms over there,
knocking shit over, Captain, right?
My big ass ears.
So anyway, what we were talking about was CP time, and I can't believe Slim is just sitting here trying to bring it on to me as if white people don't do it too.
I've never, first of all, and it's my own experience. I'm a very punctual person.
I'm usually punctual. Now I am. I
was going to say, yeah, you are much better than you used to be.
Yeah, well, used to be.
Like today, for instance, you showed up early.
That's what I like.
And I was trying to factor in CP time
15
based on the education and schooling you gave me years ago at the first barbecue I ever invited you to.
I am now a believer of 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes prior. So
I like that. I like
that.
And clearly you adhered to it. But but no, CP time was something that was completely unbeknownst to me.
So
and I'm interested. I want to know if there's any other white people out there that have ever heard about this.
If white people have black friends, they know about CP time. But
I still call bullshit on this. I still call bullshit on it. I don't think that's
no. CP time is where you show up a little after the party has started. Like, you're not there at the time that they gave you.
Now you're talking about
15 to a half hour. Yes, you guys have it too. It's called fashionably late.
Yeah, but this was 2 hours, and you blamed it on CP time, dude. You that's what you called it.
Yeah.
And
CP time.
It definitely wasn't 15, 30 minutes late. I mean,
it's no direct, there's no standard. It's just, it's a flow. It's a flowy thing. Like,
It depends on the event.
No,
What are you trying
really.
to say?
Just, I mean, shit happens. You're like, oh, I'll get there. Like, we're good. Like, you know, it's not super strict. Nobody's like, you know, dialed in. It's not like a fucking SAT test. You got to be here at 9 a.m. Like,
All right,
no.
well, okay.
It's a social event.
Use that as an example. Would you, if you had to be somewhere at 9 a.m. and it was like work, for instance? In fact, I know the answer to this. But why don't you go ahead and explain
Well,
work?
first of all,
showing up to work.
Well, first of all, it was a legit CP time when I was doing work. This was years ago, but I had other factors that were
Chronically late to work.
I had other factors that stopped me from being there at the time, and my supervisors knew.
15 minutes every single.
No, it wasn't 15. It was like 5 minutes here, 7 minutes here, 2 minutes there, which people still do today at the job that we have now. White people, by the way, and nobody gives a shit about it because nobody draws a fucking hard line about
this
it.
was a stereotype. I never even knew it was a stereotype. I gotta be honest with you. This was something you educated me on.
Yeah, well, white people do it too. They're called fashionably late.
Let's make that clear.
White people do it too. It's called fashionably late.
Okay.
So,
but you call it CP time
because I'm black. So that's what we use.
All right, but I'm interested to hear from I want to hear from other black people that say that this is a legit thing.
It's a legit thing. Maybe we should do callers. We can't do callers.
We don't have an ability to.
But damn it, you know what? Yo,
if we live stream on the internet, we could. But.
So we're not going to live stream, but if you can record something and send it to our email, then we could probably download that and play it back in the podcast.
Sure, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll have a line.
Yeah, and then we'll address you directly. Like I'll be like, oh, this is Bob from fucking Sicklerville, New Jersey, who he's very aware of CP time or he's not aware of CP time. And when you call, you don't have to use your real name.
Or maybe on our website, we do polls.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, so we're getting a website coming up soon, and we'll have polls. Yeah, we can do polls. Topics of the week. We'll do the polls of the topics of the week.
Yeah, like that, like CP time.
That way you guys can be involved.
Have you heard of it? Or are you aware of it? We could figure out a way to word that.
Yeah, and that way we'll give you a whole week to respond to the poll. That way when we launch the podcast for the following week, that'll be the topic.
One of the things we can bring up.
And we can talk to you guys about
the results of the poll.
The results of the poll.
You can even go out on the street and ask people about that topic for that week and play that. We can play that on the show.
I don't have a problem doing that at all. It sounds very right. But CP time is a real thing, so I'm just saying.
So that was one of the first Ask a Black Guy questions that came up because I said, "Whoa, pump the brakes! Like what? I've never heard of this."
Mm-hmm. Also, because you don't have any black friends
but
outside
again,
of me.
I'm still skeptical of this. I think.
And again,
it might be in a vacuum here. Maybe it's a Philly thing.
And again, I'm still no. Ladies and gentlemen, at the record show, I met this motherfucker. 2011? You say? Yeah. I thought it was 2010, but 2011. It is now 2020. Today is March 30th, 2020, and I am still his only fucking black friend. So yes, he doesn't have a very large sample.
It's true.
In which he draws from, but I'll hear to set his ass straight, and I will be doing that. So, again, from your only black friend, back to you, sir.
All right. Let's go with another topic. I gotta have one more topic.
All right, go for one more. What do you got? What do you got?
Oh shit! I could go two ways right now. Speaking of the barbecue, we can either tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Or
pick one. We'll just go with it.
Or we could go big asses. You want a story? Or
go with the story. Go with the story.
You want
the story.
Big ass stereotype.
A big ass stereotype?
Mm-hmm.
Like a big ass?
Yes.
Stereotype?
Like black guys love big asses stereotype.
Whichever one you pick.
Let's save the story for later.
Okay.
Let's go with the big asses. So this is a burning question. I think a lot of white guys have this question, and I think they're fascinated by it because this is a stereotype that isn't one of those. I will actually venture out on a limb here and say this isn't something that is one of those things that you just fixate on and see all the time. I actually think this is based in some sort of fact, and I think if you pulled, this would actually show to be true.
Big asses?
Black guys love bitches with big asses. Tell me, true or false?
That's true.
It's 100% true, right?
That's true, but it's also because we have bigger dicks.
That's the answer.
You can't be with a chick.
What does that have anything to do with a chick?
I'm telling you, because you can't be with a chick with a fat ass and you got a small dick. You try to fuck her from the back, you're not getting in there, bro. You're not getting it. And she'll tell you. She'll let you know.
Okay, but that still doesn't.
You just like it.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer the question. Like a big dick doesn't stop you from liking chicks with small asses.
No,
you can still bang a chick with a big.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But if I walk into a gym and I'm fucking 6'1", 330 pounds, yeah, I can still throw up 150 pounds bench press with no problem. But I'm going to do up a 225 or 3-something to fucking get a good workout.
I don't see that parallel. That's a good workout. This is exact example that I was talking about. You being corny as fuck. That is such a weird.
I'm just saying, like, why can't
I'm not seeing that?
But listen, it's just a personal. It's just a personal preference thing, is what it is. But it's not just black people. White people like thicker women too now. They're starting to like thicker women. Like the average American white dude like thicker women too. They're starting to like them with fat asses too. Because before you didn't. And back in the 90s, you motherfuckers like them skinny broomsticks with no asses, just big tits. That's all you gave a fuck. Because you guys tit fuck these bitches.
Yes, that's a thing. That's what I did.
I don't know what you did.
Is that titty fuck?
I seen it on a lot of porn. That's what they did. But perfect example.
I seen it on a lot of porn.
Italians. If you look at Italians, black people and Italians we're kind of similar. Think about it.
How so?
I'm gonna tell you 3 ways, right?
Yeah, because I'm not seeing this parallel either.
We're both loud. Italians are loud. Black people are loud.
A lot of hand motion.
Yeah. We both like thick women. There's a lot of thick Italian women. Yeah.
I think that's just a genetic thing.
Go ahead. We both like thick. Italian men like thick women.
I don't know. They like that?
Yeah.
Or do they just end up with it?
Well, listen. I like a thick women. Thick ladies, I love you. I love you. Skinny chicks, I like you too. But thick, a thicky McThickston.
I know your speed. I know your speed.
Yeah. So anyway, thick women, and we both wear a lot of jewelry. Italian people wear a lot of jewelry, just like black people.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, they're both loud. We both like thick women with big butts.
You like a lot of jewelry.
And we like we wear a lot of jewelry.
You're not wearing any jewelry.
I don't like to stand out. That's my personal preference. I like to play the background. I don't like to be seen.
Mm-hmm. So. I didn't notice that. Usually you wear your ring. You wear.
I did. I took it off to wash my hands.
Is it a class ring you wear on?
No, it's a football ring. I used to play football. I took it off to wash my hands, but I don't know what the fuck I did with it. Now you tell me about it. Shit.
You probably stole it.
You probably did. Well, this is a White House, so you'll give it back to me. So I'm not really worried about it. And you can't pull it off. It's too gaudy on you.
So your stance on this. Let's just regroup here because we got off track. You're talking about Italians, and I don't really. I mean, I see there's some parallels there. But we're getting away from the topic at hand, which is big asses.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that black guys prefer a big ass because they have a bigger dick. That's what you're saying.
Well, what I'm saying is we prefer bigger asses, and we're not afraid of big asses.
Because you're not afraid of it.
Because we have the equipment to handle it.
You're not afraid yet.
Yes, we like it.
You can handle a big ass, whereas a dude like myself, who you say has a much smaller penis, and I'll probably just go ahead and and just give that fact up, will not be able to handle the fat ass.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Not from the back.
If I'm hitting it from behind.
A lot of chicks like to get nailed from the back.
That is a fact. That's a fact.
I know it's a fact.
From what I've heard. I've never had a problem
from what
with
I heard.
I've never had that kind of issue. Now, granted, I've never had
how many times you beg a chick with like a fat ass? Like, how many times?
I don't think I ever have.
I wonder why. Jeez, good golly, buddy. Why? Why have you never? And I'm not saying all
micro penis.
I'm not saying I'm not saying every black guy has a large dick, and I'm not saying every white dude has small dicks. But
I mean, can we just address that right now? Maybe that's the elephant in the room.
What?
Black guys have big dicks. I mean, come on.
I mean, it is what it is. Some stereotypes are just facts.
But that would just happen to be advantageous to you.
Listen,
you're gonna roll with that one.
We like what we like, you know. We like what we like. Some shit, like you said, you said it prior that a lot of stereotypes at some point were based in truth.
Yeah. I had a story my old man used to tell me.
Go with the story.
I used to tell me this all the time. When he was in the Navy, okay, he was in, he lived on a ship. He did like
my dad was in the Navy too.
Did several world tours, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe this was your dad. I don't know. He said there was a guy, never wore a towel when he showered. Never, ever wore a towel. Never had a towel. Mm-hmm. Anytime he saw this dude in the latrine, it was dick out all the time, and he said this fucking thing hang below this guy's kneecap.
Black dude.
Black dude.
Hey, what can I say? You know?
He said it was this giant horse dick that hang below his guy's kneecap. And he always said, if I had a dick like that, I'd probably walk around too without a towel all the time.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up. I got a joke that I heard when I was a kid. I'm not gonna say who told me this joke, but someone near and dear to me and my family. So it was this lady was in her house one day. She was cleaning her house and she found this mirror, this magic mirror. So she hanged the mirror on the wall. She says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, make my breast the best of all." And the mirror said, poof. Her breasts were like big and firm and voluptuous. I mean, they're fucking gorgeous, like the best looking breasts in the fucking world. So she couldn't wait for her husband to come home. Her husband came home. She goes, "Honey, look what I found. I found this magic mirror. I made my fucking breasts beautiful." He goes, "Holy shit, these things are fucking amazing. Where's this fucking mirror?" So she shows him the mirror.
He has to see the mirror.
He has to see the mirror. So he takes the mirror. He goes upstairs, looks around, makes sure his wife isn't around. He puts the mirror on the door. He says, "Mirror, mirror on the door, make my manhood touch the floor." And his legs strong.
His legs shrunk.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I heard that story when I was younger. Years ago.
I like that.
So, yeah. So there you go.
Anyhow. All right. Well, listen, those are our first couple of topics. I think we addressed those
I like it.
without issue.
I like it.
Again, it's going to be driven by the listener. I want to hear, should we expand on this topic? Anybody have any thoughts on it? Should we talk? Any suggestions?
Yeah.
I want to hear them.
And don't let your kids listen to this because this is something you want to listen to with the kids. I mean, we're not always raunchy, but we do curse a lot.
Yeah,
I curse a lot.
To be safe.
Yeah.
But listen, let's cut this episode down and let's review it and see how we like it.
Yeah. Ask a Black Guy, pilot number 1.
AskABlackGuy.com.
AskABlackGuy.com.
Thanks for listening to our pilot episode of Ask a Black Guy. Our sound quality is only going to get better as we learn how to podcast better. Again, this show is going to be driven by listener feedback, so we look forward to hearing your thoughts, comments, topic suggestions,